everyone. This isn't the first time that Dave and I have sat together on a stage. We did it in Bendigo a few weeks ago, and we were talking about engagement with the community, and it was a really good event.
We held it up pretty high, didn't we?
We held our part up anyway.
Yeah, for sure.
I want to start by acknowledging the traditional owners of the land out here, and elders, and any elders that are with us today, and of course my Aboriginal colleagues and stuff from around the room. And thanks to Dave and his team for the invitation. Our session is primarily, I wasn't really sure what it was going to be about until I saw the agenda today, but I kind of thought I was going to talk about sport and rec, but I'm not. Our session is really about funding opportunities and where you go to and how you get it and watching and getting stuff like that. So a lot of it isn't about us sitting up here and talking. I think a lot of it is about being able to point you in the right direction, give you an idea of where to go to and find what you're actually looking for yourselves. If you don't have access to internet and the web and the likes, there's no shortage of people around that you can tap on the shoulder, and one of them is sitting right beside me. Did you want to do an opening thing?
Yeah, for sure. Look, I think for me, part of this session was really to look at what opportunities there are out there in the community. We often look at grants, and we wanted to look a little bit further than just grants. We certainly on some of the tables, I know we talked about sponsorship, we talked about partners, etc. There are partners out there to work with us on community events, and I think we need to sort of start looking at that. And part of that might be around, some better skills within our committees and our communities around how you get sponsorship. But sponsors are out there, and certainly, use this conference as an example. We put this conference on, and we felt it was a good opportunity for people to engage with us, and we put the feelers out, I guess, and talked to a few people about who would like to have their brand associated with the conference today. And obviously, Primco were one of those. Gippsland Primary Health Network was another that wanted to be involved with that. And I think that's really important that we can talk to those people about it. And when we have some of these events that we've got, we certainly don't want to sell our souls to sponsors and big business, but there's an opportunity where there's a similar outcome that we can actually go to those sponsors and we can say, hey, we've got this AFL Nines program, we've got this basketball carnival, we've got this, and attach their name to it, whether it be big or small. You can call it the More Bowls Club Classic or something like that, and it'll be a basketball event. If they're going to get something out of it, they're going to have meals here, or they're going to get people into their establishment. What are the benefits for that business or that sponsor? You can actually achieve big things, and sometimes, we heard earlier, we can be creative accountants. We can make those dollars then go further into our communities and our events as well. So don't be frightened of overselling your product too. If you put on a carnival, you might only want 3,000 or 4,000 to do it, but the amount of advertising, the amount of brand recognition that you can give someone for that might be worth 5,000 or 10,000. So ask for that money and be ambitious about it. And any money that's left over, you can put into other community events you've got as well. I guess in terms of sponsorship, those people are similar to a grant maker, that they're going to want something out of it as well. So it's understanding what they want. So again, it's about building relationships with those sponsors and those businesses, and certainly talking to them about what they can get out of your event as well, and identifying where there's a win-win. Not always it's about financial involvement as well. We've got Huru Sport on our flyer as well, and Michelle's involved with Huru Sport, so it was great that they were able to participate and help us get Michelle down here. So that wasn't a financial arrangement, but that was something that we were able to recognise through an in-kind approach. So partners and sponsors can work on a number of different levels there. The other one I just wanted to raise as well was crowdfunding is something that's growing really big now as well, and we should be looking at where there's an opportunity to crowdfund for some of our events. We talk about uniforms to go to carnivals. We want monies to run carnivals. Potentially there's an opportunity to do some crowdfunding around that. And for those that don't know, basically what it is asking people for donations and using social media and the web to do that. And if you get 1,000 people to put $10 in, you've raised yourself $10,000. So you don't have to ask people for big money. You can certainly get some sort of small amounts in there as well. So I guess that was the message that I wanted to get out here. Just on a conference point of view, we're really keen to get some feedback from you guys about the day, and maybe this is a topic that we can explore more at another conference or some training down the track. I think we're happy to take questions.
A little bit to do. Awesome. I like the idea of getting money out of people. I manage Aboriginal programs in Sport and Rec Victoria, and in my role we have a very, very, very small budget that we provide as funding grants to different state sporting associations to work with their clubs, to work with the Aboriginal community around the place, to increase participation basically. And I think it should also be more about making sports and stuff more accessible to the community. One of the things that we don't do particularly well, but I'm working on at the moment, is getting out to the community and saying, you know, we've got this going on over here, we need you to come along and make it worthwhile. And if we can demonstrate high participation, good value for money, potentially we can go and get more money, we can do more of it. The downside of that is that you can't come to me and ask for money because I don't have money for you. The relationship we have is with state sporting associations. We've got some here like surfing and basketball and others. I did have more in my head a second ago, so there's 4 of us in the team. Peter Monter, that a lot of you from out here will know, who's based out here in Traralgon. He works predominantly, he works a lot with David, with Deadly Sports and with Gippsland through the Gippsland area on programs that are being run for Aboriginal people, and he provides lots of support and advice and a bit of direction and stuff where he can. We have another sports development officer like Pete that sits in central office with me and looks after the western side of the state. That's Rod Briggs, some of you will know him. And we've just recruited Warren Williams into the team. She's replacing Rob Hyatt, who a lot of you here will know as well. He's gone on a 12-month gig with the Koori Heritage Trust, also working with their cultural awareness and education program. Excuse me. But what I've done when I talked to David and he asked me if I'd be interested in coming out here, what I went and did was put together a list of grants as a flyer, as a handout that Sport and Rec Victoria have. Some of these are around facility, modelled by the lovely, I don't even know her name. Lisa. So Sport and Rec Victoria provide a number of grants, and some of the grants that I think are on there actually to state sporting associations. So we don't deal with clubs specifically. The other grants are more about hardware. They're about tennis courts, basketball courts, swimming pools, that sort of stuff. And a lot of those, there's criteria around them. They go to a local council, that sort of thing. But on the piece of paper that I put together, it gives a very brief summary of what each of the grants is about. It doesn't give the dates that they're open and closed because that changes each year, and a lot of them are already closed for 2016. Some are still going, but a lot of them are closed. At the bottom of the second page, it has a website. It's our website, and it's got grants on the end of it. And that will tell you what grants are open, how you go about getting them, and it'll give you a contact number to phone or to call, or email, details to email, to get more information. The other thing, I'm not taking credit for the next thing. I put that together because that wasn't on this next thing, basically, which actually raises another thing at the finish of this. This one, which Lisa is about to model again. Thank you, Lisa. This one is Australian government, state government, local government, and a number of philanthropic, so private organisations that have funding available for Aboriginal programs. So this one's a really good one to have, and it's another pile of them there on the desk up in front. This one's got, again, who it's from, when they open, how much you can apply for, how much some of them say how much you can apply for, some of them say how much is in the total amount. I think you just have to work it out a bit. it's got a brief summary of what the grant can be used for and a web address. The web address is on the last column. What I didn't do, but I will do, is email these out to David, and David can circulate them to the rest of to everybody that's here. So I think this is really handy. I can't take credit for it. It was sent to me on an email which I looked at the day after David was talking to me, and I just thought, perfect, I'm going to look like a gem. But I'm not prepared to take credit for it. But it does have a lot of information. The fact that it doesn't have Sport and Rec Victoria's information in it makes me think that there's an awful lot of grants out there that are available for people to get to that aren't listed through other state departments, that sort of stuff. I reckon that whoever's put this together has done a Google search of some sort and found access to a number of sites, and they've listed them all into one paper, which is really, really handy to have. And it probably needs somebody who's prepared to do a much more detailed search to identify everything that's out there available. Yes, I think we're...
I should also just promote our grants program as well. So through Department of Health and Human Services, we're funded through the Cool and Ballot strategy, and we've actually got some money there for community events in Gippsland. We've actually struggled to give that money out, so whether it's a lack of us being able to get that message out there to community, or whether, as we probably identified today, there hasn't been a lot of sort of significant regional events happening in Gippsland. But because of the discussion today, we do have a grants program there up to $5,000 per event that people can apply to run an event down here in Gippsland with a sport and health focus. So that's on our website at deadlysport.com.au. So if out of discussions today, people go away thinking, yes, we'd like to do a hockey event or a lawn bowls event or a basketball event, etc., then certainly we can work with us and we can apply for that grant. Hopefully that'll be a start to seeing some money come in terms of that sponsorship and grants program as well. Our program's only funded short term, so we couldn't enter into any sort of long term, so they're one-off events at this stage. But the philosophy behind it was to encourage more events to come to Gippsland and more events happening here. Good comments there, Alice. I'd say, certainly some of that is there are people out there that may be able to help you with grant writing. So if it's a sport-related event, certainly, Gippsport could possibly help you out there. There'd be certainly some other people as well, and that's where some good partnerships are probably good as well. In terms of writing grants, the thing that I'd encourage you to do is really, first thing is to ring up the people that have put the grant out and have a yarn to them about what they're looking for, and from that discussion you'll find out whether your event is going to fit what they're doing, and avoid wasting a lot of time, because as you said, someone to sit on a committee and to write grants takes a lot of time, and you can feel sometimes that you're writing a lot of applications and not getting any response. But certainly give the people a call, have a chat to them about what you're looking at. They'll give you the way to word it, and sometimes it's the way of wording it too. Like, obviously our program, for example, is around health and sport, so we've got to keep making sure that we're talking about health, and we're including health in what we're doing all the time. They'll have they might not have a sporting type grant round, but it might be about gambling or something like that. And if you can get a gambling message into a sporting event, then you may be able to apply for that. But if you give them a call, you can eliminate some of your effort around by them saying, no, look, we don't sponsor events, or, yeah, look, that we do, but what you need to be able to do is tell us this, this and this, and you can go away then and try and word your grant application to meet their needs better. But I think it's like sponsorship. It's about building a relationship with the people who are putting the grant out as well. So the more you do that, but on the sponsorship side, I'm happy to try and go away from this and do a bit of a template around how you might write a sponsorship proposal. A basic one. you might want to build it up from that, because it's really hard to do something that's going to meet everybody's need. But again, ringing a sponsor and talking to them first, then asking them what they need is probably a good way to go to start with as well.
Any other questions? No? All right. Thank you both very much.
No worries. Thank you.